As Madrid hit rock bottom, Barca just won their 11th game in a row. The most pointless transfer ever, unsurprisingly, doesn't work out. And this Madrid benchwarmer is now the star of African football. This is DMAC Daily. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse for Real Madrid, their untimely demise has just so happened to coincide with their eternal enemy, Barcelona, hitting a historic run of form. Their latest victory came at the hands of Racing Santander 2-0 in the Copa del Rey to make it 11 consecutive wins for the club. This is a side that has responded decisively to adversity. That 3-0 beatdown away at Chelsea was a timely reminder that they are not infallible, but this proved to be a turning point in their season, and what we're now seeing is almost a hybrid version of Barcelona. One that can obliterate teams offensively with their ridiculous attacking depth, but also is a side capable of grinding out results when not at their best. It must be stated that Barcelona's recruitment this campaign has been the foundation of their success, as it has transformed this team. Even though it wasn't a massive window by the Blaugrana, the signings have all been incredible. When Marcus Rashford arrived on loan, the move was met with a skeptical sense of optimism. A player with a reputable past, but also supposedly a controversial figure and someone who had been stagnating for some time. He'd arrived as a depth signing, but has proven to be a fantastic addition, a versatile player providing much needed explosivity in the forward line, an area that had been lacking in the absence of Rafinha previously. 18 goal involvements in 28 games is a testament to his positive impact. Rooney Bardghji has been another awesome signing. Outside of the FM merchants, relatively little was known about the Swedish wonderkid, and whilst he's still a less senior figure in the forward line, the talent of this kid is clear to see. In fact, we've even seen Yamal feature as a number 10 in order for Bardghji to operate down that right flank, a skillful, mazy dribbler with wicked pace to match. That being said, the arrival of these two wingers somehow hasn't limited opportunities to other members of the Barcelona forward line, because every single attacking player at this club is excelling. Yamal and Rafinha are still delivering at a prolific frequency. Rafinha's numbers are all the more impressive considering he was sidelined for 9 games this campaign. His latest heroics in the Super Cup final proves that the 29-year-old is still at the top of his game. Last season's insanity wasn't just a fluke. There are few, if any, wingers in world football playing at this level. Meanwhile, 37-year-old veteran Robert Lewandowski is also still amongst the goals, perhaps not as influential in comparison to recent years, but he too is in the double digits for the campaign. Yet, ironically, Barca's most prolific goal scorer this season is not any of the other high-profile names mentioned. It's actually Ferran Torres, having hit 15 goals in 25-26. This, to me, has been a bit of a surprise. I thought Rashford's arrival could have spelled trouble for Ferran's Barca career, but this enhanced forward line has actually benefited the Spaniard. He's since been shifted to more of a striker role than a winger, and is now frequently benching Polish star striker Lewandowski. Inconsistency in front of goal still remains an issue for the Shark, but he's still a valuable player in this side nonetheless. As is Fermin Lopez. Like Ferran, Fermin has undergone a remarkable transformation. Once viewed as a squad rotational option, through sheer force of will, Fermin is changing the dynamic. Despite not being the most technically gifted La Masia talent to grace this club, his work rate, unmatched desire, and ruthless end product is making him one of Europe's best attacking midfielders available. This guy is averaging a goal or assist every 75 minutes this season. Simply world-class efficiency. The midfield is still exceptional. Pedri and De Jong, I mean, I could talk about these two all day. The most technically exquisite midfield duo in world football. But their continued excellence is nothing new here. The real MVP of Barcelona in 25-26 thus far, though, has actually been their new goalkeeper, Joan Garcia. The man who dethroned club captain and 10-year servant Mark ter Stegen of a starting role in goal. Garcia's impact has been extraordinary. Literally every single match day, he pulls off at least one insane save. Today was no exception. In the 94th minute, a colossal 1v1 stop to secure the victory before Barca made it 2. His 5th clean sheet in his last 6 appearances for the club. For me, he is the complete goalkeeper goalkeeper. His distribution is elite and the shot stopping equally impressive. Intelligent recruitment and internal growth has taken this club to a new level. Joao Cancelo's arrival in January on loan adds additional experience and quality. He's another technically brilliant and multi-positional fullback. If Barca can bring in an additional centre-back to replace the injured Christensen, then for me, the sky is the limit. They have quality front to back and an outstanding manager to match. This team won a domestic treble last season, and in my opinion, they're a better team than they were 12 months prior. Moving to transfer news, and Facundo Buonanotte moves to a third Premier League club this season, having terminated his loan spell at Chelsea in order to join Leeds United till the season's end on loan. What a farcical scenario this is all proven to be. Granted, transfers fall short of expectation every season, so to single out Buonanotte may be a little harsh, but this specific deal from the get-go made no sense for any parties involved. Remember, Chelsea were on the lookout for an attacking midfielder recruit all summer, having been linked heavily with Xavi Simons and then Fermin Lopez, but none of those deals came to fruition. You see, these targets knew that game time would be limited, considering Chelsea already possessed a seemingly undroppable attacking midfielder in Cole Palmer, plus the squad already possessed the likes of Enzo Fernandez, Joao Pedro, and Andre Santos, who could operate in that role too. But the Chelsea hierarchy remained adamant on bringing in another playmaker, and then took a gamble on the young Argentine, hijacking a deal that Leeds were initially planning on pursuing on deadline day. Upon this news, Chelsea fans were understandably perplexed because Buonanotte's arrival made zero sense on paper. This is a guy who had spent 2 years at Brighton and was clearly talented but struggled for consistent game time. As a result, he was then shipped out on loan to Leicester, and sure, he featured more frequently, but didn't prevent them from being relegated either. He returned to Brighton and was still unfancied. So he then moves to Chelsea on loan. Seemed to be an unwarranted step up in quality, and surprise, surprise, he's underwhelmed. Playing just 8 games, scoring once, making a single Premier League start, of which he was hauled off at half-time. Hardly a devastating blow for Chelsea that he has since departed the club, but it does beg the question though, why did this transfer go ahead? Because it didn't benefit Chelsea, as he clearly wasn't good enough. It also didn't benefit Brighton or Buonanotte, as his development just stalled even further. A lose-lose-lose outcome. So now he pivots to Leeds instead on another loan. Probably a better environment for the player, although I do have doubts about this move too. Leeds are a club that rely on sheer physicality and work rate to defeat teams. In a relegation dogfight, I'm not so sure where the diminutive playmaker will fit in. And to close out today's episode, we gotta talk about Brahim Diaz, who has emerged as the defining figure of AFCON 2025, transforming from a peripheral member at Real Madrid into the beating heart of host nation Morocco's tournament run into the final and the competition's current top scorer. While his club season under now former manager Xabi Alonso has been marked by frustration and limited opportunities, the continental stage has allowed Brahim to reclaim prominence in emphatic fashion. The 26-year-old scored in the opening 5 games of the tournament, joining a list achieved by only 3 players in the competition's history. Not even Samuel Eto'o, AFCON's all-time leading goal scorer, has pulled off that feat. This tournament has proven to be the perfect mid-season escape for Diaz. The Moroccan was clearly struggling in the Spanish capital, having started just 4 times in 25-26. But in Morocco's team, he's their guy, which is all the more impressive considering that for years, Achraf Hakimi has been the undisputed star of Moroccan football. The Paris Saint-Germain fullback is the reigning CAF Men's Footballer of the Year. He's a Champions League winner, a national icon since his decisive penalty against Spain at the 2022 World Cup. He's the captain of the national team and also finished 6th at last year's Ballon d'Or. The guy's possibly the nation's finest talent, yet Brahim's performances are beginning to challenge that hierarchy. Head coach Walid Regragui has been unequivocal in his praise, calling Brahim the team's X factor, and astonishingly claimed he can be the best player in the world if he wants. Now, I personally wouldn't go that far, but the broader point still stands. Brahim has become a national superstar. Morocco entered AFCON under pressure following their historic World Cup run in Qatar. As the host nation, reaching the final was the bare minimum expectation. But having battled past a fierce Nigerian team in the semis, the Moroccan flag is once again flying all across the country. Brahim's rise is all the more fascinating given his late international commitment. Remember, Brahim was actually born in Spain and even featured for their national team, earning 1 cap in 2021. So having eventually committed to Morocco, he only made his national team debut in 2024. But his international career has already been electric. 13 goals, 2 assists in 21 caps. He has seamlessly replaced Hakim Ziyech as the primary creative influence in Regragi's forward line. He now has the chance to deliver Morocco their first AFCON title in 50 years. What an insane achievement that would prove to be. Yet the most exciting part for Moroccans is that his international career has only just begun, really. This is his first major tournament. Imagine if he were to perform in a similar capacity on the world stage. Anyways, guys, that's all for today's DMAC Daily. Appreciate you tuning in as always, and I'll see you next time.